This dedicated group of individuals have gone above and beyond, dedicating countless hours to the success of each student. In particular, I would like to thank the Resource Department, Rabbi Shalom Niskowitz and Mrs. Hadassah Field. Their level of dedication, commitment to the growth of the school, and the excellence of the education is truly beyond words. I'm sure I speak for the parents and students when I say thank you, and thank you again. The staff is here tonight. When it comes to the Ohr Moshe staff, there was a time when it was just me and a man named Rav Leib Chaim Krenis. Then one day it was time to hire a new Rebbe. Little did we know that when we hired that Rebbe, what we were actually getting was a leader. Rabbi Hanan Fruchter's dedication to the school is nothing less than inspiring. It is at this time that I ask Rabbi Fruchter to say a few words.
There was once a man who couldn't read Hebrew. As hard as he tried, it wouldn't go. So he decided, I have the best excuse in the world. When God asked me why I didn't do the mitzvahs, I'll tell him I couldn't read. You want me to go to shul? I wouldn't understand what's going on. I can't read the siddur. So he lived his life doing every avera in the book. Came the big day, goes up to heaven, they print out the database, and the angel looks at him and says, a pretty sinful life. He says, yes, I know, but what can you do? What do you expect from me? I couldn't read Hebrew, I couldn't learn, couldn't go to shul, I couldn't learn Torah, I didn't know what the rules are. I deserve to go straight to Gan Eden. The angel says, you know what? You're right. Go to paradise. The guy pats himself on the back. I knew this was the way to go. It's going to work. He walks into heaven. Air conditioning, great food, great place. He's there for a few days. He's bored out of his mind. What do you do in heaven? Rashi was giving a shiur, the Rambam, the Chavetz Chaim. He never went to a shiur in his life, and heaven is going to start going. He came over to the angel and says, maybe you can organize a tourist visa to Gehenna. Sure. No problem, that's what you want? I'll take care of it for you. He gives him the tourist visa, he goes to Gehenna, he meets all his old friends, they start partying, having the time of his life, and then the bell goes off. They say, everyone back on your heads. They turn up the heat, the eternal barbecue, and he says, I'm out of here. He goes over to the devil at the gate, and he says, I need to leave. The devil says, no one leaves this place. Pride, he pulls his tourist visa out of his pocket and shows it to the devil. The devil takes a look at it and says, I'm sorry, I can't read. I tell you the story because here at Ohr Moshe, our goal was to make sure that every single boy will succeed. And although in the beginning, after Rabbi Krenis left, it was just me and Rabbi Littman, there was no way that we could have brought the school to where it is today without the help of every other staff member. Rabbi Littman wrote on my page before you have 3 minutes to speak. I wanted to mention everyone, but I'm punished for telling me bargain and give me another minute or two. But every teacher, every staff member here has helped to create the place that Ohr Moshe is today. I want to say thank you to all of you. A few years ago, there was a Lubavitch school in Kharkov, Russia. This school had a history teacher. This teacher was a sworn communist. A lady, Marx, Lenin, Trotsky, Stalin, those were her idols. You ask her, what is she doing teaching in a Lubavitch school? The answer is, it's true, she was a communist, but she was an excellent history teacher. One day she was giving her students a quiz. at the end of the 18th century, in the beginning of the 18th century. She asked what happened in the year 1799. So one student raises his hand, his Lubavitcher, says that's the year that the Balatanya, the first Lubavitcher Rebbe, was freed from prison on Yud Tes Kislev. She blew a fuse. That's what matters to Russian history? I don't know if this rabbi ever existed. And even if he did, I don't know if he was ever in jail. If he was in jail, I don't know if he ever got out. But that's not what matters. 1799 was something else. What was 1799? Pushkin was born. Now Pushkin is Pushkin. Anyone who knows anything about Russian history, Alexander Pushkin was one of their greatest poets. And she goes on talking about Alexander Pushkin, what a great man he was. The student says, fine, Alexander Pushkin, 1799, great. She goes on with the quiz. The year 1800, 1802, 1805, 1810. She gets to the year 1812. So the student raises his hand, says, I knew what happened in 1812. She says, yeah, tell me what happened in 1812. He says, Pushkin's bar mitzvah. Education is not just the material which we give over to our students. It's the reference, it's the frame of mind. It's giving them a new way to view the world. That's what lasts. For this boy, it happened to be a bar mitzvah. It made no difference whether it was his bar mitzvah, Pushkin's bar mitzvah, or Napoleon's bar mitzvah. Well, 1812 was the year when Napoleon invaded Russia. Here at Ohr Moshe, I think one of the deepest messages we wanted to give our students is that success does not come from the job being easy. It does not come from having luck. Success comes from working hard. If you work hard, you will succeed. With your permission, I want to end with one more short story. In the 1950s, there was a man who lived in Morocco. He was contemplating whether he should make Aliyah or not. His problem was that he was illiterate. He couldn't read. He came to the Baba Sali. He asked the Baba Sali, should I move to Israel? I'm afraid I'm going to move to a new place right now. I have Parnasa here in Morocco. If I move to Israel, where will I find a job? The Baba Sali told him to go, don't worry, you'll find a job. He came to Israel. He went to the correct office to apply for a job. And he's telling them about himself. He says, I'm illiterate. They say to him, don't call us, we'll call you. He went home dejected. The next day he gets a message, come to such and such an office for an interview. He comes to the interview. He's waiting in the waiting room. Half an hour, 45 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. He's ready to give up. At that point, the door opens up. They call him in. They say, you got the job. I got the job, but you never even spoke to me. He says, the job is, we're dealing with very top secret papers. And we need someone who can shred the papers. But someone who cannot read. So we left you in the waiting room alone with books and newspapers, and we were watching you the whole time to see whether you'll pick up a book and start reading it. Are you really illiterate or not? After 3 hours, we saw there was one time you picked up a newspaper, you picked it up upside down. It's not like nowadays, all newspapers have pictures in them. So we realized you really don't know how to read. You got the job. Each and every one of us has our own job, which is special for us. Each of us are different. Each of us have our own talents. And God has chosen that job especially for us. And the bracha I want to give to all our graduates is that you should find your own way in this world. Use the talents that you have. Develop those talents to the best of your ability. And give nachas to your parents, to us, the staff at Ohr Moshe, and to your Father in heaven.